Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome to Monday. Tony Scott, Smooth R&B 105.7 in the studios, taking a smooth ride home every afternoon from 2 to 7. That's me, live in Dallas, and here with Tony's Tea, some entertainment headlines that got my attention today. So there's that, plus a few other stories that we normally get to with your comments. That's what makes this so special, is you're able to comment and interact with me during the broadcast, which I think is a kind of cool thing. So first things first, Tamar and Tank apparently squabbled on Instagram over the weekend. I don't know if you heard about this or not, but it got kind of ugly for a minute. The backstory is last week, Tamar's band didn't show up for her gig in Philadelphia, so the next day she fired her band. Now, supposedly they had all kinds of different reasons why they couldn't make it, but at the end of the day, they did not show up, and she fired them. And then Tank caught up. Somehow they ran across each other, her band and Tank posted a video with her band, and in it, he captioned, in part, he says they never intentionally miss a gig. If someone in your camp is telling you something different, which I know they are, it's a lie. Tamar called what Tank did on social media with the band a BA move, and then she decided to bring up the fact that apparently Tank enjoys something along the lines of groceries, if you know what I'm saying. So, so they went back and forth on that. A lot of just immature mess. At the end of the day, the band is still fired, and that's that. But, it's like, wow. And she did point out, why would you do this on social media? So, something to that effect, which I get where she's coming from, but Tank was taken up for his friends. But on social media, it should have just been a phone conversation, don't you think? Jamie Foxx is off the hook. Remember, I told you a while back that back in 2002, a woman alleged that Jamie slapped her with his penis after she rejected him. Jamie says, never happened. Never happened. Well, after some the investigation didn't go far because the statute of limitations ran out after 3 years. And even the statute of limitations for her to take civil action has run out. So there's nothing that can be done. So it's in the clear. So at this point, it's her word against him. And of course, you have to ask, without it sounding like she's being victim shamed, is why did you take so long? What took so long, to make this accusation? But, it worked out in the Cosby situation, so there's that. T.I. and Tiny are back for the Family Hustle. Remember that reality show they did on VH1 from, 2011 to 2017? They've already started filming this month. They're looking to do 10 episodes, and they say Monica's going to make an appearance, so will Reginae Carter. Regine's mom, Toya Wright, will be on the show, as so will Shakina Joe. Are looking to make appearances too, so there's that. See, I'm not happy about that. I love T.I. and Tiny, but I think that part of the problem that fractured their marriage before was the fact that those reality cameras were always around. I just think that has something to do with it, and I think from what we're reading these days on social media, their marriage is still not in a good spot. It was for a minute, we thought, but not really. And I just don't think this is going to help. But you know what? They didn't ask me. They didn't ask you, right? So there's that. Chrissy Teigen shared a super revealing breastfeeding picture of her breastfeeding her baby son Miles, and her breastfeeding her daughter Luna's doll. So she had them both at the pump, right? And somebody commented, menstruating, childbirth, and sex are natural too, but that doesn't mean I want to see pics of it. And of course, Chrissy only claps back in classic savage fashion, said, I don't care to see grainy firework pictures, Coachella selfies, or infinity pool pics, but I let people live. Calm your bleeps down and scroll on by. I love Chrissy Teigen. Serena Williams cried. Not anything to do with tennis. She missed her daughter Alexis Ohanian took her first steps, and Serena was training and missed it, and she cried about it. And people were saying it's okay. It's okay. It's I don't think I saw any of my girls when they took their first steps. I don't think I was around for any of that. So, and I didn't. It wasn't like they were never going to do it again. So I was like, I really didn't care. Is that the insensitive side of me? I don't know. I just knew that I'd see them walk eventually. So it wasn't that big a deal that I missed their first steps. To me, that's just me. I'm weird. Let's see. Speaking of breastfeeding, the whole breastfeeding issue that came about over the weekend, the World Health Organization, well, let me go back. Hundreds of delegates were at the World Health Assembly. That's a decision-making body of the World Health Organization. They had a resolution that put forth that mother's milk is the healthiest option for infants, and the country should work to limit any misleading or inaccurate advertising by makers of breast milk substitute formulas. It affirms a long-held position by the WHO, and it's backed by decades of research. But the Trump White House said, "Nah, that we're not backing that resolution," right? And of course, the reason being that there's money to be made in formulas, in the formula business. That's a money-making business. We can't dismiss breastfeeding. Damn the health. the hell with the kids. Damn, man. There's money to be made in that formula, man. And everybody is stunned by it. But Trump says, I never said that. I never said that. Hey, liar, 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 pants on fire. So, Erica and Warren Campbell, Erica of Mary, they say sexuality should be talked about in church. Warren says, I think the line between Christianity and sexuality shouldn't be as wide a gap. People are scared to talk about sex in church, but you sitting here talking to a bunch of people who all got here because somebody had sex. But I tend to agree with that, but I would want, what's the conversation that needs to be had about sex? Are we talking about abstinence? Are we talking about informing the congregation about birth control? Are we talking about sexuality in terms of sexual preferences? What are we talking about here? Is it something simple? Is it more complicated? I don't know. I don't know. I'd be interested to see what the deal is on that. And the president has a primetime event tonight at 8 o'clock where he's going to reveal who his Supreme Court nominee is going to be. SCOTUS from POTUS will be at 8 o'clock. And people wonder why so late. I think because he's not going to find out who Putin tells him to choose until about 7:30. And then he'll tell us at 8 o'clock what Putin's choice was in the guise of being the president's choice. So there's that. New York Giants defensive tackle A.J. Francis revealed on Twitter that the Transportation Security Administration, a.k.a. the TSA, spilled the ashes of his mother in his luggage. And he called them POS. He called them for their carelessness in their tweet. I mean, he went in on them hard, using language that I wouldn't use here on Facebook Live because I'm just not, I'm not of that ilk to say it on something like this. In person, yeah, I probably would say it, but not this way. But he says the craziest part of it is that I don't even care that they checked the luggage. They were just being cautious, and I understand that. But they should be more careful. He says it's irresponsible and not cool, and TSA has tweeted an apology saying our officers are trained to handle your carry-on and check property with care out of respect for the deceased. Under no circumstances should the container be open. Please accept our apologies and our condolences. He did not accept their apology, and he sent out another not safe for work message. If you want to read more, you can just, on the Google, just Google A.J. Francis, and I'm sure you'll find the story. So there's that. So whatever else you guys want to talk about, something I missed, something that I talked about, you can make your comments, all right? As I say, good evening to Tynette and Yvonne and Polly and Tara and Brenda and Willie Jean is in the house, and Kathy, thanks for the hearts. Brenda says, I love the Tiny and T.I. show. I have never watched that. I mean, I've never watched any reality show. That's just, it's not my thing. It's your thing, and I've said this before. It's your thing. Go have a good time with it. Have fun. It just ain't for me. I'm just saying. So there's that. Also, let's see. Yvonne says, I like T.I. and Tiny, but I don't think they need a reality show because, like you said, when cameras are just, being with him and everything all times, they don't need a reality show again. That's my opinion. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They need to work on their marriage. Paper's already being stacked, because of who they are. He's acting, he's rapping, he's doing shows, she's doing the shows, and, that kind of thing like that. They don't need this, in my opinion. But like I said, they didn't ask me. April says, it's a mom thing, Tony. You're not going to understand missing your baby's first steps. Okay, I'm fine with that. But you know what? I'm sure there are a lot of men who feel the same way. But yeah, that just wasn't I think when my wife called me one time, one of my kids, they took their first steps, and I was like, okay, good. I got to go back to work, because, yeah, they were going to walk eventually, and I'll see them walk again. But that's just me. But April, I respect that. Hey, D, how you doing? Kenneth, what's going on? I respect that. That's like one of those things. I mean, it's, yes, I'm stupid. I understand. I'm being insensitive, and I don't mean to be. But what's important is important. I mean, it's like when my wife and I got married, I was like, don't ask me about flowers and all that stuff like that. Just tell me what colors you want the dudes to wear, and we'll make it. Tell me what day to be there, what time it starts, and I'm there. I'm there, but I don't want to know everything else. When we bought a house, I'm not picking out wallpaper. I'm not picking out, floors. I'm not doing any of that. You do it. Just tell me when to show up to sign the paperwork, since I'm paying for it. That's all I care about. I don't care about anything else. I don't care about that other stuff. So that's just me. I'm a simple dude. I'm not that guy. I don't need to have input in everything in our life. Maybe that makes me an insensitive jerk. I don't know. But, I'm sorry, Yolanda, that I'm insensitive, but, that's some things, what's important to people is relative to that person, I think. So Tamar, Brenda says she needs to get checked. Someone needs to check her. Well, you know what? I think that the whole conversation with Tank shouldn't have been on a public forum, right? Because she said things that I hope she regrets on social media, and maybe upon reflection, he's probably like, you know what, that probably wasn't the best place I should have reached out to her and told her in person, hey, your band, I know these guys, man. There's a reason why they didn't show up, and this whole this, that, and the other and stuff. It should have been a private conversation. It should have never gone to social media, because then it blows up and people will comment, and then Tank or Tamar are reading the comments, and that's firing up even more. Then they'll type something else that maybe they shouldn't type. It escalates. It's just one of those things. I just think that it's something that shouldn't have been public, but. Yeah, Yvonne, it's not like they're only going to take those 2-3 steps and then they're not going to walk again ever. I mean, they're going to walk again. So I'm here for it. I'm just not, I'm not going to cry that I missed it. I'm not going to do that. Evelyn, how you doing? Good to have you on. I don't know if you guys saw the video of the cop in El Paso that pulled a gun on the kids. The police are investigating. He's on desk duty. What's to investigate? Was there a reason why your gun should have been pulled at little kids? I mean, were the kids acting like unruly? Well, yeah, but they weren't going to I don't know. It goes back to this. All a cop has to say is, I feared for my life. This is why I pulled my gun. This is why I pulled the trigger. And that's basically the end of it, right? Usually, in most cases, that's how it works. Kathy says, no disrespect, but I love your laugh. Have a blessed day, sir. Kathy, cut the sir stuff out. It's just me. Okay. It's just me. So, remember the woman who called the cops on the boy that was cutting grass? And that story went viral, and then he started getting all kind of offers, and I think he got brand new equipment donated to him, things like that. Well, apparently she called the cops again. And it was because the lady was the next door neighbor who grass, I think the little boy was cutting. She was having a party. She had kids over. They were on the water slide, and they kept hitting the fence coming off the slide. And so she says her fence was being damaged, and she called the cops. And the cops, they were asked, can't you do something about her? They said, nah, man, she's called cops like 65 times in 2 years, And that's not an abuse of 911 from a legal point of view. So as long as she's not in the legal form of abusing 911, she can call the cops all she wants. So until they come up with legislation, and I don't know how they would do it, because, when you call the cops, you it ain't like the boy who cried wolf. They have to come out and investigate. And people say, well, I think cops got something better to do. Well, no, someone calls, someone has to investigate. That's how it works. In theory, that's how it's supposed to work. So there's that. Robert, how you doing, man? Carmela, how you doing? Camilla, how you doing? Martha, well, good to hear. Good to see you. But yeah, so she called the cops again. There's that. There's the apartment manager who got fired because she called the police on a black man who was at the pool with socks on. She called the cops for that. And so the apartment complex is like, you know what? No, you gotta go. You gotta go. You can't keep your job. You can't, I'm sorry, you can't do that. You can't, no, there'll be none of that. Yeah, it's crazy. Erica says, I learned about that from you. Well, the story. Yeah, I mean, it's out of hand. Calling the police on black folks is ridiculous when they haven't done anything but live their life. Somebody at the subway called cops on a family because they kept using the bathroom too much. It was like a family of 4 or 5. They kept going to the bathroom. They called the cops. They're in there eating sandwiches. They don't give you the money. Once you buy something, I can use the bathroom. Isn't that the rule? That's the rule. Is that not the rule? That's the rule. You always say you can't. They say you can't use the bathroom if you're not a customer. Well, I just bought 5 sandwiches, drinks, and chips from you. The hell, I'm not a customer. I want to go. My kids got to pee. I got to pee. We all got to pee. We're gonna go pee. We're gonna go pee. Are you down with OPP? And she called the cops. What in the entire hell is that about? It is out of hand, Erica. It is out of hand. Yes. And it's like, wow. Come on, man. We need to do better. But this is where we are. This is where we are. America. This is where we are. You can't even go pee-pee. You can't go pee-pee. Oh, go pee-pee. Come on, man. And there's so many other instances of this happening, you know. Yeah, Diana, he wore socks to the pool. A lot of black men wear slides with socks. I never got that. But there's some kind of thing about men thinking that their feet can't be seen. We know you got feet. We know you got toes. What the hell do we care what they look like? You know, you're a grown ass man. If your toes are beat up, you worked hard for your life. That's what it is. Whatever. But you got 10 toes. That's what you should be grateful for. But we got this thing, and so black men, they wear their slides with their socks on. I don't get it, but okay, whatever. You know, I wear flip-flops. I don't wear socks. It's like, you know, do I have the best-looking feet? No, probably not. You know, absolutely not. But what do I care what you think? I don't care about what you think about my feet. Come on, man. It's crazy, Ryan. It's absolutely nuts. It's living while black is really what it is, Erica. You know, walking city. It's living while black. It's not even a crime. It's just living. Living while black is the crime right now, and it needs to stop. You know, you had a real estate agent checking out a house. Woman called the police on him. Cop came out, told the woman, you know what? Stop. Just stop. You're being silly. Just stop. Stop with this. It's out of hand. It's crazy, Robert. You're exactly right. But until, you know, you start holding them accountable, you know, nothing's going to change. Kathy, they need Jesus. You know what? Kathy, we all need Jesus. All right. We all need Jesus. And that's just what it is. So, but yeah, it's just the world we live in. It's just a hateful world. And because, and I said this before, because of who's in the White House, he has enabled, citizens that, because, I mean, half the country believes the man's a racist. If you didn't hear, Michael Eric Dyson on CNN. Did you watch that clip when he just destroyed somebody over that? It's on the website at krnb.com. It was, I mean, to not think there's a race problem in this country that has been made worse by this administration is really not being honest. You know, and there's a guy I know who's a broadcaster, conservative, and he's, you know, the stuff that's going on in Haiti. He posted a picture of a fire going on there, and he was like, "This is why the president called it a whole country, because it is. This is the example." Well, how can you say that based on a picture? You don't think that most Haitians want to have a very peaceful, private life where they can enjoy themselves, work hard, make a decent living? That's what they're fighting for. You know? This country wasn't always, you know, smooth sailing. It's never been smooth sailing. I mean, come on. It's like, what's the rapper that was beefing with Pusha T? You know, he says that this generation's Klan hood is that red Make America Great cap again. He says, when was this country ever great? And from his perspective as a black man in America, you have to say, well, yeah, when was it great? When was it great? When was it great? You know, and I think to some degree, there's a large part, and I can't speak for white people because I'm not white, but I mean, I think I'm not going to say most, I'm not going to even say half. I'm going to say there's a large group of white Americans who fear, because you get these reports that this country will have more minorities than white folks in it in the not too distant future. And I think that people are like, you know what? We got to do something about that. We got to do something about that. So we're going to have to start doing some, you know, some really shady stuff. You know, we can't let them take over. They're going to do to us what we did to them. Well, that's not true. That's not true. You can say anything you want about black folks, but one thing you cannot say, and I'll say it is, the black folks that I've been around a lot of black folks in my life, They are the most forgiving people on the face of the planet. They will forgive everything because that's just how black folks are wired. Forgiveness is in their heart. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, April says, I'm glad that apartment manager got fired. It's ridiculous how these white people are ambushing the police like that. And yeah, that's what's going on right now. It is what's going on right now. If they start writing citations and giving out fines, it will stop immediately. But you can't do that because what they're doing by the definition of law, Diana, it's not illegal what they're doing. And I'm not sure where the threshold is as far as calling police when it becomes abuse of 911. I don't know when that happens. If you call the police and go, hey, there's a kid out here cutting grass and you know what, he's on my property. Well, now, okay, so you got to investigate that, right? Is he trespassing? You have to go investigate it. That's the thing. He wasn't doing nothing but making a turn. He might have cut a little bit of their lawn by accident, you know, but that's all it was. Police, they didn't do anything to the little boy because there was nothing to do. Yeah, you know. So it is, you know, this country is got a lot of problems, you know. The president does not make it better, you know, and we are the laughing stock of the world right now. We are. And, you know, the thing that's so funny, though, is that there are people, and I've said this before, who will scream from the top of their lungs that the president is doing a great job as loud as you and I will scream that the president is doing a lousy job. The difference is going to be voting. You know, we know when people didn't, what was it, like, how many people didn't vote? 10 million people didn't vote? Something. It was a crazy amount of people who didn't vote in the last election, even though more people, the popular vote, Hillary clearly won that by like 2 million votes. But it was a ton of people who didn't vote, right? And the ramifications from that is what's going down tonight, okay? Because he is a far right-leaning president that got the presidency, got the White House. He gets to pick who the next Supreme Court justice nominee is going to be. And he's going to pick somebody who it probably will be anti-Roe versus Wade. So the abortion thing is back in play again. You know, there's going to be a lot of things, you know, that they're going to go that way. Because why? Because we did not only not vote, but because people didn't vote, this man got in office and he's going to shape the Supreme Court for generations to come. Because people didn't vote. And you have to understand the long-term effects of not voting, you know, and especially like on a local state level and local elections, those matter more than anything because those folks locally are the ones who work closely with the neighborhoods that you live in. And that's the part that you have to like keep in mind is there is a situation where people, you know, may lose their neighborhood to businesses, and that eminent domain thing might rear its ugly head in your neighborhood. But and there may be politicians who are for it, but you didn't vote, so they got the gig, and now they're coming for your neighborhood. You know, they're not fighting for your jobs. You know, that's on a local level. That's why you have to vote on every level, but especially the local election. Those are more important than anything. I'm not telling you nothing you don't know. You know this, but for some reason, people feel disenfranchised, and maybe for a lot of good reasons, but you can't let it defeat you. You know, when I was unemployed for 14 months and it was getting, you know, we were taking on water, man, and you know, but I couldn't give up. I wanted to. There are nights that I cried because it's like, this is hard. This is hard, man. This is very hard. This is not how it's supposed to be, but it's life. And if I give up, then the ramifications of me giving up are not just on me. They're on my wife, my children, you know, and it messes everything up, messes my credit up, messes everything up. So all that is in play. So you got to keep fighting. You have to. You can't give up. Who gives up? You can't do that. I'm not gonna vote because they already know who's gonna win. Well, you know what? Look what we ended up with. Look what we ended up with. Thank you for that. You know, because not voting was a vote for him, and that's how it turned out. And now we saw this, you know, clearly there's some gerrymandering going on with the realigning districts and stuff like that. But the Supreme Court ruled that, no, there's no problem. No problem. We're good. Everything good? We're good, right? We're good. And that's how it is. You know, you don't think it can get worse? It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. You know, It's going to get worse. Diana says, the deep-seated fear that when they are in the minority, they fear reaping what they have sown. But really, black people just want to keep it moving and be left alone. All people want in this country, all people of color, all they want is an equal shot. That's all. That's all. But because, make no mistake, Make America Great Again is code for Make America 1955 again. When people who look like you and me knew our place. And we stayed in our place. And we stayed on our side of the tracks. Right? That's what they want. Back when they wouldn't serve people in restaurants and stuff like that. They wouldn't do that. Right? We're going right back to that. Right? Because the Supreme Court said that man, he didn't have to bake a cake for that gay couple. And then that'll escalate to, well, you know what? I don't like black people. So I'm not going to bake a cake for them. So what's the difference? In the current administration, there is no difference. There is no difference. What it comes down to is you don't look like me, then you're not entitled. That's what it comes down to. And it's that way because we didn't vote. We didn't vote. We ended up messing ourselves up. April, exactly. That's exactly what happened. That is what it is. And that's where we are. So when someone says that they're not going to vote, then they just need you don't get the right to complain. Your complaint. I mean, obviously you can say what you want, but no one takes it serious when you say I didn't. When you say I didn't vote, anything political, any opinion you have doesn't matter. Not to me. Not to me. The folks who are watching this, who may be from St. Louis, where I was for many years before I came to Dallas, you guys know when people call and I ask them, "Did you vote?" and they said no, I'd hang up. Because the topic we're talking about, politics, because you didn't vote, I don't want to hear what you have to say. You didn't vote. You didn't vote. You don't get to say. It's like reviewing a movie that you didn't see. I didn't see the movie, but here's what I thought about Spider-Man. Well, but you didn't see the movie. I know, but here's what I think. Shut up! Shut the hell! What in I'm just saying. So anyway, I'm done ranting on that. That's just today's rant, and I know you didn't ask for it, but there it was. So, hey, my daughter Olivia and my wife are moving from St. Louis to California, and they're almost where they need to be. They're in California. They're headed up to L.A., and I'm so proud of Olivia and what her next chapter in her life and what she's going to tackle. She's a brave soul. I mean, when I first moved out from my parents' house to be on my own, I moved to Wharton, Texas, with a population of 9,000. She's moving to Los Angeles, California. How many million live there, right? So she's a brave soul. I pray for her, and I know you do too, and I hope that she just, her journey is nothing short of fantastic. So, Darlene, how you doing? So there's that. And I've had the fun of having my Maria, my youngest, has been here since last week. Will be here this week, and we'll go back to St. Louis in about a week and a half, something like that. So I get her all to myself. So there's that, and we've had some pretty good times. So there's that. I've been having a ball. So having said that, Cedric, thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. Let me let you guys go because I got to go back on the air and do what I do when I do what I do. But have a great evening, and if you can share this. Oh, you know what I found out? I've been telling you guys, follow me on social media, Tony Scott Media, on everything except for YouTube. Well, apparently, you can go to youtube.com/Tony Scott Media, or just go to YouTube in the search box, put Tony Scott Media, and I'm there. So we're good. I'm Tony Scott Media everywhere. So follow me on that. Go to YouTube, subscribe to my channel, and it doesn't cost anything. If you want to get notified when a video goes up, check the bell. If not, that's cool. But I try to put up content that's worthy of your few minutes a day to consume, and hopefully you'll. Thank you, April. I appreciate that. Yeah, she's awesome. So, but yeah, so there's that, and follow me, like I said, on social media, and subscribe to my YouTube channel and everything. And I think I let my I'm gonna turn off my Tumblr, I think, and my Periscope, because I have no need for them. I don't use them. I got Instagram, IGTV. I do a really short, condensed form of Tony's Tea if you want to subscribe to that and get it in a very, very bite-sized form. It's like a minute and a half as opposed to the 25, 30-minute thing we do here. I don't talk about as many things, but I give you the stuff that grab my attention. So there's that. So anyway, have a great night. All right. And hopefully tomorrow. Okay. Appreciate you so much. And y'all take care.